Hello everybody, good morning. Really sorry about the delay here. I had some troubles transplanting the world. I wanted to transplant it into a water world, and I thought I could do it very quickly, and it actually took a lot longer than I thought it would. But I have succeeded eventually, but not without a few difficulties, which is why yeah, there's still monsters and stuff flying around. I don't know, but I think it mostly worked. I'm not sure if the time-lapse camera is up yet. No, it's not. Okay, let me just check what's happening there. Good morning, Yuri. Hope you've had a nice weekend. Oh, I see what's wrong there. Let's solve that problem. Hello, Umar. There we go, we got the time-lapse camera up and running, but it's not in the right position yet. But I'm not sure where I want to build yet, so what I may do is spend some time essentially making this look like an island. So my intention going forward is to build things up out of the water so that what we end up with is basically always an island. It's always a functional island instead of what we have at the moment, where it's just kind of this weird floating structure, which is just a bit weird. So maybe I'll transform everything kind of into an island. What is this? What happened here? What? I'm really concerned, actually. Did my whole world get... No! Something went wrong with the copy, and it's all been hit with ore. It's all become like orified. Is that a problem? Goodness, maybe that is a problem. Has it happened to everything? All of my build been hit with these ore brushes? Yeah, it looks like it has. It don't look too bad, actually. Maybe I'll let it live. Maybe it's an improvement upon what I had. Yeah, I guess it can stay, actually. So that's not too bad then. Be careful of that in the future, though. I didn't realise that was going to happen, but, well, we won't have to transplant this again. That's fine. Okay. So I think what I'm going to do is... Oh yeah, you live in the city, right? You live in Damn it, it's slipping away from me. I can't remember the name. Dubney or something. Dubna? Oh, I don't know. I'm going to stop making random guesses now. Okay, anyway, let's just see here. Yeah, I think what I'm going to do is a real quick... well, it's not going to be real quick, actually. It's going to be quite a long process here, but I'm going to do brush, sphere, stone, 5, bigger. Let's do brush, cylinder, stone, 15. And what I'm going to do with this is... brush, sphere, cylinder, stone. Can't make our mind up what we're having. Brush, in fact, let's make it bigger. 20, and what I'm going to do with this real quick is just... Oh, wrong kind of 20. Try like this. Rostov. Okay, so 22 maybe? Call it 25. There we go. And if I just go along here, in fact, let's make it bigger because there's no reason not to. Let's do a huge one. Boom. And we can just real quick kind of bulk out the base here just so that we have a sealed surface. A sealed surface. Are you excited about the World Cup then? I guess you must be. haven't actually got to see any whole complete games yet, unfortunately, so that's kind of a shame. But yeah, I'm kind of excited for the World Cup. Gonna be some fun games. I mean, apart from the fact that Britain, we probably should have boycotted the World Cup after that one incident, but we went anyway, so yeah, I guess it's going to be fun. Hello, Davey. How are you this morning, friend? Oh, we copied some of the kind of extra stuff here, which we can get rid of, maybe. I'm just going to bring it the full way around here, and then I'm going to start bulking in the already existing structures. What is your favourite team for the World Cup? Everybody, let me know your favourite team. I'm kind of rooting for Iceland because it's funny to see such a kind of a weak side beat people. Argentina drew with Iceland, which is amusing. Must be great fun for the Icelandic players, really. Let's keep building all the way around. What is that? Glass? Oh yeah, I remember. I remember why there's glass there. I know what I'm doing. Nice. Something's really not working so well with my system at the moment. Let me see if I can adjust the graphics. Maybe that'll help a little. Okay, so next thing is let's try blend in this area. So we kind of want it to be all stone, I suppose. So we can just bulk straight in there, and we'll go for some smaller cylinders now. We'll just fill this in so that we don't have big open space. There we go. And over this way. Hello. Alrighty. Ooh. That's okay. We're right at the edge of the map anyway. So this is kind of the shape that I'm imagining going for, so that every time I build a new area, I'm just gonna bulk kind of straight up out of the water so that we can at any point kind of fly around, and although it will look unfinished, it won't look quite as unfinished where we're like seeing underneath the whole world and stuff, which looks kind of dumb and not really what I want. It's not a single player, but it's kind of a private server, so it's just a local server between my two laptops here, so you can't join, I'm afraid. Let's see here. Get that in there. And this in here. I guess that's fine. Oops. Bulk this area out a little. In fact, let's bring this whole area out a little bit, and in fact, we can use a bigger brush for that. So we'll use a 30 brush because that's the biggest we're allowed, apparently. This mushroom boy, do we need him? Maybe we don't need him. I mean, I might just be able to get rid of it. It's saved elsewhere. I probably don't need it. You know what? I'm going to save it. Let's just grab it here, and we can fly this one over to the mushroom area, and we'll paste it in here. Copy. It's going to fly over here to Mushroom Land. And we'll get it. I'll just paste it kind of floating in the air here, so that we can until we can find a place to put it. I mean, maybe here might be a good place for it actually, but what happened to it? Oh, there it is. Yeah, maybe we could put that down there, but for now I'm happy to leave it. Chop the edge off, but whatever, it's fine. I ain't too worried. I'm mostly just kind of bye-bye. I'm mostly just kind of excited to get rid of the floating nature of this that we presently have. Alrighty, so I guess we can bulk all the way around here, so we can get rid of that little section. We can probably come into here. Get a little bit smaller one. Yeah, doesn't need to be too close. Here we can do the purple, I suppose. So let's grab 25110, I think. Yes. Oops, too big. Let's not cause damage to the build unnecessarily here. Oh, I'm quite excited to have kind of purple area meeting the water. I think that could be really cool to have like kind of purple kind of cliffs washing up kind of sticking out into the water, which I think I will be doing perhaps at some point. And bring it through here. This, to be fair, already kind of has an edge. It doesn't really need this too much, but it's okay. I don't mind doing this. It's kind of mapping out where the rest of the build is going to go as well, which is kind of nice. Alright, let's just raise the height a little bit. Should we put it up to 25, I guess? Or is that's the width, isn't it? So maybe we can reach up to there. Yeah. We can do this. Let's put it up to 25 here. I think it should be okay. Yes. Yeah. Cool, cool. Perfect height. Okay. And now we can get some stone again. So let's go back to the stone one. That needs to be a lot higher. Let's do a 25. Thank you, Davey. This is a bit of kind of an interim build here, interim bit of work because, not interim I suppose, but what's the word? Maintenance work I suppose. It's not super exciting, but it needs to be done sooner or later to kind of fill out this empty space underneath the whole build here, because, well, it's just a necessary evil. It would almost have been nice to have done this before transferring it, so we could have got that ore generation in all of these stone blocks, but I think it's okay. I don't think that's strictly necessary. And get through here. I'm really hoping I'm not damaging the other side there. Let's have a quick check, make sure we're not. Oh, we are. Whoops. not do that if we can help it. Poke through. And bring it through here. Hello. My Fear Awards. Welcome. I'm just doing some kind of maintenance work on the build here. Just so that we have a little bit less of this kind of weird overhanging floating landscape, and it's more grounded, so that it means ultimately lots and lots of bulking in the base. Hello Gex, welcome. So I think that's us all the way around now with the bulking here. And then what we're gonna do is some serious bulking. So having done that, that was just the kind of the starting point here, because I have a really very large plan for the next section of the build. What is the time-lapse camera doing presently? Oh, it's not in the shop because we're just kind of I've been flying around the build all over the place, bulking basically around the base to support it more. I'm very good, thank you. It's nice to have finally transferred this world into a better location. MC Edit wasn't working, so MC Edit wasn't working, so I had to do the stupidest thing. Load it into. So I copied the whole world into the end. Then I changed the world save to be this water world, and then I copied the whole world back from the end into here because for whatever reason MC Edit is broken, at least on my installation, on my version. I'm not sure which. So what I want to do here is build I think what's going to be kind of the very core of this build, and it's going to be absolutely giant. So let's get kind of the base laid out. So let's go for a 30-30, that's the largest I can do. And I want it to be so big such that it can be seen all the way across, but only just. So that means it's going to be a long way across. So 32 blocks across, 32 chunks across is my plan. So let's see if that's going to load, and we'll see how far 32 chunks really is. So I had a plan for the for a valley that was so large that, as I say, it would be 32 chunks across, which is about 500 blocks, and it's a long way. And then we could build basically section-wise this giant valley. And when I say giant, I mean world realism kind of scale, like real life kind of scale to the valley. So let's see. I think we're about reaching 32 chunks away now. Still drawing for now. There we go. So this is about 32 chunks away. So here is where we will have the other wall. And then we've got all of this space in the middle to build in. So it's going to be absolutely mammoth, basically. So I've got quite a number of good ideas, or what I think are good ideas. Ideas, anyway. So I want to have a forest here, coming down from the forest there. So just this forest continues down. So that might be one of the first things we do. So let's actually bulk in there a little bit. Bye-bye, friend. And I was thinking we could have kind of a lake, maybe, with perhaps a castle or a town on it. Or I suppose the lake will be kind of part of the sea. Although I immediately thought about kind of docks, and I already don't want to do docks. I don't want to build like a freaking huge dock or whatever. I want to keep it kind of smallish builds within a big large build. So I'm just kind of gonna kind of map out exactly the basic structure here. Gosh, it's so big. It's gigantic. So I'm just gonna put a load along here that we'll get kind of a better idea of. Oh, welcome. I wonder if that was my Fear Awards. I'm gonna have a quick check. Oh no, I didn't open the. I closed my web browser. Forget it. It's fine. I may have a look. And bring it. Gosh, it's so big here. I don't even know where to start really. Let's just. All right, let's bulk in through here, the other kind of side of the valley, with some. Lake in the middle, is what I'm imagining. Or I suppose it's not going to be really a lake, it's going to be part of the sea, actually. I suppose it doesn't have to look like part of the sea. So let's bring in here. So there's a kind of a basic shape. Let's do some work to the base here. So let's go for a size height 10 now, and just shallow this off a little bit, because it doesn't make sense for it to go from the edge to the water quite so suddenly. In fact, I might drain the water so we can see what's going on. Oh, okay, let's not do that. Getting ahead of ourselves there. That will come later. And again, oops. Down there, and here. Here, and here. Here. And through here, and in fact all the way to the end. You know, I might drain the water actually. Let's get a quick cylinder here of lapis, maybe. No. Yeah, let's just put a mark in here. A wall of lapis just to keep the water out. Whoa, it's dark down here. Oh, we might be able to do something with the... There we go. So I'll keep the water out, which is nice. And we'll go over to the other side and we'll do the same thing, I guess. Although, we probably still want to bring that in a little more. So let me just do that. Oh gosh, this is so big. I'm trying to treat it like the other builds, and I'm like, oh, why am I not there yet? Come on. Okay, so I'll block this end off with the bricks. And right now, what we can do is take this, except we'll do air, and we'll do mask water, and then what this will do is just suck up all that water. Real quick and easy. In fact, I can just spam this around and it should get rid of everything real nice and quick. Okay. Now we just get to watch as the water vanishes. Like the parting of the Red Sea. I'm doing this because water is quite difficult to work with the MC Edit tools and the World Edit tools. Sorry, not MC Edit, World Edit. And the Voxel Sniper tools, they don't play, some of them treat water as actual blocks, which I don't really want. So the water, I added the water by, as I say, what happened was, I made a water super flat world, and then I tried to transfer my world into it, but that didn't work because MC Edit is broken at the moment and may never work again, unfortunately. Judging by it looks like development has stopped on that tool, which kind of is unfortunate. So yeah, MC Edit didn't work, so I couldn't copy it in. So what I had to do was use World Edit and copy it into the end, and then delete, and then bring in this super flat world again, and then paste it into this world. So a very roundabout way of doing it. Copy to the end and then copy back into the real world after I've changed it to this water one. So that's how I got the water in, and now it's just a water-based super flat world instead of grass, which makes a lot more sense. I mean, there's no reason. Super flat grass is kind of pointless, really, because nothing looks like that. You know, the ocean looks like super flat water, or the sky looks like super flat just air. But nothing looks like super flat grass. There's nothing in nature that looks like that, so it's kind of dumb. So there we go. There we go. Whatever, I don't care about the water outside. We've about done it now. Wow, it's so big. Goodness. This is exciting, really. Let me get the time-lapse camera over here. So let me just bring that over now. Well, yes, I agree, but I mean, even Denmark does not look like just super flat grass. It has, you know, grass and trees and ditches and things. It's not the same on houses and stuff. I see what you're saying, but it's not really super flat. Okay, so I will leave this little guy watching from here now, I suppose. And let me swap back into my other world. Okay. So, next thing, I'm going to bulk the whole base up. Uh-oh, that's not a good sign. Oh, there we go, it's working now. In fact, there may be an easier way to do this. If I just... Goodness, I need to use my compass just to fly around. Let's just do a quick stone fill here. It'll save me a lot of effort. Alright, and then we can just fill in those holes. Too worried about that little one. And in here. And through here. Nice, nice. Alright, so I think that'll be the maximum depth of this lake. And we can start to bring the... Whoops. We can start to bring the edges in a little bit so it's a bit shallower. Now lakes can be, and frequently are, extremely deep They're like flooded valleys generally. The sea tends to be nice and shallow, but because there's no, there's not really any erosion in the lakes in the same way as the sea. It doesn't have those huge waves churning all the time, so you just tend to be quite steep actually. So let's now bring in some shallow edge here. I know I just said that about lakes, but I don't care. I want this to be shallow edge just because it looks nice. Oh. So let's keep going through here. I'm just going to bring it all the way around, and basically I'm going to turn this into what could be described as, I suppose, a tidal lake, perhaps, if it's going to be connected to the sea, which it may be. A lake which is connected to the sea is known as a tidal lake. So that is kind of what will result in these shallow edges, but as I say, I don't really care about being particularly scientifically accurate for a lake at this point, because it is, it's just nicer, I think, with a shallower edge. I think that's just what people kind of expect, even if it's not scientifically speaking really true. Okay, so let's go now with a more shallow edge. Yes, I did know that. My girlfriend is Swedish, and she speaks English pretty freaking well. But yes, no, very, very good at English. Much better than I am at Swedish. Jag älskar Danmark. Maybe? Yeah, I think I can say that. So, just going to build around here a little, and we're going to bring it down at the base too. Whoops. Just to create a smoother kind of entry here, and then we'll use some voxel sniper tools to really blend this out. And all the way around here. And maybe we can just bulk this spot out a little, get rid of that hole. Cool, cool. Yes. I think that probably helps a lot. And I think it also helps that English and Scandinavian languages are actually quite similar in a lot of ways. A lot of the words even are the same. Particularly, actually, funnily enough, I come from the north of England, and in the north we have dialect, which is words that are different than in the south, and many of them are just Nordic words. So some famous northern dialects would be words like barn, although we say ben, so ben instead of meaning child. Think of a couple. I know there's a couple others that are pretty common, but that might be one of the kind of the main ones, first ones that you would find out. So in the south, ben doesn't mean anything, but in the north, or in Scotland in particular, it's a child. So we still have those, even though it was thousands of years ago, over 1,000 years ago, that that invasion and settlement happened. We still have some of those words that haven't been fully assimilated, which is kind of cool. Alrighty. So we have a bit of a valley going on now. I'm going to bring in 3 here, so we're going to go for a little bit shallower now, with smaller steps. So just gonna shallow this in, shallow it in. How about that for some great English? Smooth it off, I suppose, a little bit. Trying to think of some other words that kind of maintain their Nordic roots. We have many places. Be, as in, well, I'm sure you understand the word be. So we have places like Whitby or Danby, or I think it's a Hammarby, and there's dozens of places called Be, especially in the northeast. Window. Ah. What about the window? So actually, when I was in New Zealand, I saw something I didn't expect to see. There's a place, Dannevirke, which is where some Danes settled during the 1800s. They made this settlement of Dannevirke, which is a funny story. I didn't realise there were any Danes. Or it's right next to a town called Norsewood, which is where the Swedish and the Norwegians settled. It's kind of funny. I didn't even realise that they landed. Leg. Yes, you're right. A lot of the shorter words in English, especially the kind of the mundane ones, come from kind of Old Norse. But I was actually specifically thinking about words that still divide the country in terms of north to south, because obviously there were more Scandinavian invaders, or settlers I should say, in the north than they were in the south, and it's kind of funny that those dialectic differences have persisted all the way into the modern age even. Yes, these are all very similar words, or these are the same words, I suppose. Knivord. Nice, nice. So, I suppose next is the base level here. Yeah, as in, we have the same thing with knight and knecht, I think. But for whatever reason, despite everybody, all the other Germanic languages maintaining the K sound, we just dropped it and we don't say the kn sound anymore. We don't have any K sounds anymore at the beginning of, well, we don't have the KN sound. It doesn't exist, despite maintaining the spelling, which is nice and confusing for any foreigners. Alrighty, so whoops, there we go. That's the basic shape, I think, laid out. I suppose we definitely do need to go around at the top level again. So let's just drop this down a little, and we'll make it a little bit smaller so we can fit another layer in here, and we'll bring this around. And then I'm going to take some blob brush, I think, spider ball brush probably. Stereotypes. Well, I can tell you some specific ones. So if you go to Scotland, the stereotype of the Scottish from the English is they like to eat haggis and play the bagpipes and wear kilts. Battered Mars bar is a particularly kind of funny and sometimes mildly offensive one. The Scots are pretty good people though. Got a great sense of humour, I find. Nice and friendly, unlike the English. The English are kind of known for being, the Southerners in particular are known for being quite rude, snooty, particularly kind of dry humour. I think rude, perhaps, for well, maybe not rude, but not friendly, I suppose. Have some laws of social etiquette and stick very closely to them, I suppose. But yeah, it can come across as kind of rude. Of course, the other stereotype is everyone in Britain is super polite, but I think that's not the case. I think it's just many other countries are just not as polite. I think Scandinavian countries are probably similarly polite, actually. Nice, okay. This is a truly epic construction. Alrighty, so let's have a go with a splatter ball and see what we can do with that. In fact, let's try splatter disc. No wait, splatter ball. Splatter ball is right. And we're gonna do a size 10, I suppose. I'm gonna do G. Brush splatter ball G1000. Whoops. I don't know why I put 1000, it should have been 3000. Right, let's have a go with this. Whoa, that is not what I had in mind. This is what I wanted to do. Alrighty, so this is going to make a grand old mess. So actually, let's start the base. I'm just going to run this over the entire base. City Randers, is that like, are they a type of people? Does that just mean like city folks? Or does that mean something else? So this is nowhere near completed at this point, and it won't be the final run, so I'm going to be pretty liberal with a smooth brush, just to try and get a bit more of an exciting shape than just the discs here. Those discs are not very exciting. What is Mokai? Well, I kind of guessed that one. Is it beer or? Just gonna keep taking this the whole way around. It's gonna take a little while. Through here. Holy. Is it some kind of a spirit then, or? I've never heard of this. Nice, nice. So gonna take this around through here. Oh, so it's like, is it like an alco pop then, maybe? We have there's a funny actually relationship with cider between the UK and Sweden. It seems like Sweden thinks that UK cider is sweet, and the UK thinks that Swedish cider is sweet. Now I think Swedish cider definitely is the sweeter, but it's really funny. We import their cider and we're like, oh yeah, great, Swedish cider, and they do the same thing to our cider, which is funny. Goodness me. This is a very, very grand construction, I think. Truly it is a mega build. We are going to be on this section for a while. I don't think this one's going to be done in a week, guys. Through here now. So we are actually finally getting to the surface level. Yes. Perfect. Is Randers where you live? Here maybe? Around the top. Yes. Tune. I'm really hoping actually that there's not too much growth on this splatter ball, otherwise this is going to be... I've been destructive, I think. Alrighty, looks like we're about ready then to... So I'm thinking first of all, smooth brush, and then over with some kind of an erode. I'm thinking maybe a melt brush. Could be interesting. Okay, that's really small then. Alrighty. Covered pretty much everywhere now. What a mess. Yeah, should we just leave it at that? Done. Alright, so brush, erode, smooth. Yeah, and we'll do a size 20. So, let's start at this end, we'll just sweep all the way through. Okay, this is going to take a number of attempts per go, I think, by the look of it. You know what, let's up the size. 40. Huge. Boom. Yeah, there we go, that's more like it. Let's really kind of cut through this. And again. Oh gosh. Wow, this is not what I had in mind. It's very rocky down there. I guess that makes kind of a cool landscape, though. It's a shame it's under the sea. Just gonna keep pushing through. And through here. Wow. I'm going to use a melt brush. I think a melt brush should take out most of the problems here. Wow, it looks cool though. Like, I almost don't want to kill it. I mean, we could leave them in the water. It might look kind of cool, all these rocks in the water. Really kind of rocky landscape, maybe. Shayland, is that the island? The big island? Nice. This creates a really cool kind of area, even if it's not appropriate. Like with some grass around the base of these kind of rocks, it would look really cool. You can still see the I'm actually going to go to Sweden fairly soon, to Lund, which is, I'm sure you know where Lund is, but I'll be going there in a couple of weeks. Speaking of, actually, next week I won't be able to stream anything because I'm going on holiday with my family, so there'll be no streams for next week. I'm afraid to say. So, there we go. That has made a real mess of the base here, but we can work with this, I think. Welcome back, friend. How are you today, friend? Ender Gaming. I don't know if you remember I was talking about the big valley that I wanted to make. That's what I'm trying to make now. So I'm just trying to get a nice kind of lake basin to start with that we can work out from. So that is essentially what I'm doing here. I'm just kind of making a kind of a rough base. Alrighty, so I think that'll do for now. So what I'm going to do now is take a melt brush, and this is going to be extremely powerful. So if I'm not mistaken, what should happen is we should see everything just kind of melt away. Yeah, perfect. That's kind of what I want. Cool. Yeah, so we're getting this kind of smoothing now. Actual smoothing. The beard is not new. It is growing. It's a little bit longer than it was. It may suddenly be looking more bushy than it was. I did intend to actually trim it this weekend, but I didn't get around to it. So we have a bigger beard than before. Yeah, I did hear about the Kim murder case. I was really not. That was pretty awful, to be honest. Kind of haunted me for a while. Not nice. Yeah, I guess maybe it's kind of reached the level of turning from kind of facial hair to an actual beard, maybe. It's just about kind of starting to become a bit longer, I guess. That is just still a big mess in the middle, though. Let's get rid of that. So powerful, these tools. Like, can you imagine how long it would have... Well, in 1 hour, what I've done here would have taken me weeks, months even, to build this. And I know it's not as good as what could have been built by hand, but it's still pretty decent base. Crazy just how... Just wham, and then... Yeah, all of the kind of extra blocks just being worn away. I'm going to go through the middle here. So we are definitely ending up with an overly kind of smooth area, but we can still work with this for sure. No, I'm not trying to look like a Viking. I'm gonna cut my beard actually soon. I'm gonna shave it again, or trim it again, because it is too long. Beards are trendy at the moment, though. It's stylish to have a beard. So yeah, I'm not a huge follower of fashion, but I do try to keep up a little bit. I do like the way beards look, so I've been growing a beard on and off for about 5 years now, I think, since I was at the university, pretty much since I could grow a proper beard. I'm not going to get a huge beard and like make like plaits and stuff in it. I'm not going to do that, sorry. Alrighty. So we're getting there now. We've nearly eroded pretty much everything that we need to. Still some areas that are a bit too rocky. I mean, I don't mind these kind of areas where you see there's just a few rocks, but these areas at this end are still way too rocky. So I think I'm going to go for an island in the middle, or kind of maybe not an island, but a peninsula, perhaps? Oh, did it? Whoops. Let me resolve the time-lapse camera because I've forgotten about that. Oh. Done. Whoops. Okay. What time is it now? Gonna do maybe 10 more minutes. I've actually got more stuff to do because I was in such a rush this morning after transferring the world into this water world. I didn't get all the stuff I need to do in the morning done, so I got a little bit of washing up to do and some other things. Yeah. There we go. So there we go. We've got a really... This is nice, actually. We've got a really kind of natural-looking base for the lake. Potentially, when the water change comes in, which it will probably do when we're halfway through this build, we can... You know, it's already kind of an interesting underwater landscape. Perhaps we can make use of that. Yeah, this is the end of the stream, unfortunately. 10 minutes left, though. Yeah, maybe you intended to be an hour earlier, perhaps? I don't know. So... that's not going to work, is it? So, what else could we do here? I mean, it's already pretty good, actually. I mean, it does look a bit too regular in some places, but... I'm sure it's too bad. Whoa, well, there goes that tool. Get another one. Alright, let's use a lift brush. And I'm gonna try and make... So let's see here. I want it to be kind of opposite that. So actually, we should decide where we want this to be viewed from. Because that's really going to determine the course of action. So it needs to be viewed somewhere from the middle. So maybe we should say the viewpoint should be kind of here. And we'll be looking this way, down the valley, into what we can see. No, I didn't hear about that. Alrighty, so I'm just going to bring this area up. And my intent here is to, as I say, create a viewing point. So that's about the right height. I mean, obviously that is not what it will look like. But it's giving me the right kind of basic height. So I'm just going to bulk it out a little bit here. And we'll bring it up a little more, maybe. Shit. Have you heard about the state of London at the moment? There have been, I think there's been 100 maybe murders in London this year so far, which is just crazy. So from this angle here, I'm imagining we get kind of a peninsula coming out here, maybe with a bridge. So I don't know whether it'll be a bridge or actually just natural peninsula. Yeah, there's been a big, a lot of kind of young gang members have been killing each other, basically. So it's been crazy at the moment. Like, I'd say hundreds of people. 100 people have been killed. I mean, it's not, you know, it's not like one big organized gang war, but it is largely gangs involved. Hello. How are you today, friend? Bulin. Ibulin? I Bulin? No, 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 no. It's not one murderer. That would be impressive. Okay, this is just making a mess, actually. Yeah, more mess than anything else. So I'm just going to keep bulking all the way around here. And this is, yeah, a real mess. Wow. That's me. Did I say a rude word? Whoops. I'm trying not to. I'm a good streamer who doesn't say rude words. I don't think I said it. Maybe I did, but you know, I do use rude words in my day-to-day life. But since I was in Korea teaching like 5-year-olds, I had to try and not swear because, you know, you don't want to teach 5-year-olds how to swear. So this was a complete waste of time, actually. I could have just used a different brush, but let's try a blob brush on here and then a smooth brush. So it'll be blob. What is that? Oh, it's a blob brush. That's totally what I asked for, but it's not what I want. I want it to be SB, Splatterball. Better. Alright. So, just going to bring this the whole way around. It kind of reminds me a little bit of those... uh-oh. Now I'm going to embarrass myself. Now, where are they? Is it Cambodia area? The Angkor Wat and things? The really kind of... I think it's a Hindu temple where they these big kind of stepped pyramids, roofs. Oh, okay. Wow, whoops. Sorry, guys. Don't report me. Don't demonetize my content. Alrighty. So, smooth now. So hopefully we can get something nice out of this mess. We need a bigger brush, I think, so we'll put it up to 20. No, I mean, it's going to be fine. There's not going to be any repercussion from that. Don't worry about it. I'm just trying to be funny. Clearly failing. Okay, let's see what we end up with. This is going to be extremely rocky to begin with. But at least it's not that kind of weird pyramid shape anymore. Yes, yes. That's cool though. Alrighty. So there we have a. I mean, this is going to look a lot less epic when the water is in, because obviously this is going to be above the water level, so only part of it's going to be visible. And I will probably smooth that out a little bit more, but it's a basic shape that I kind of want to have. I also want to kind of break up this rather monotonous shape. So let's see if we can make... where else could we put a shape in? So let's move over to the viewpoint again. So here's the old viewpoint. Oh, actually, I'm nearly out of time, aren't I? So here's where our castle's going to be. I think. Some big kind of tall white castle maybe. Down the left here, big forest coming down. Some other stuff around the place. Who knows? But yes, I think I'm going to have to call it a day at that. Thanks everybody for watching. I'm going to go and do some washing up and stuff because... also, I'm doing work experience with a kid today, so I've got to look after like a work experience kid, so that's going to be fun. Anywho, thanks everybody, and I'll see you next time. Bye. Where do I stop this?